I knew I should have bought condoms. You don't have to tell me that. I can't take the pill. I used to smoke before the price went up, but I'm older now and there are lots of risks. They cost money too, the birth control pills. Everything costs. The kids need milk, something to take for lunch that looks like what everyone else eats. I remember what it was like all the time, saying I forgot my lunch. I ate it on the way to school. And having some teacher take pity on me and finding something in the staff room. Not my kids. So I ask you, if you had to choose between peanut butter and condoms, what would you choose? The Abortion Monologues by Jane Cawthorne. That was a short excerpt of the monologue 13 I read over 15 years ago when I performed in the production. I'm Erin Williams, and I'm the Program Director of Sexual and Reproductive Justice at Global Fund for Women. And not only do I work in feminist philanthropy, I'm also incredibly passionate about music, art, theater, mindfulness, and really try to incorporate that into all of my work. At Global Fund for Women, we envision a world where movements for gender justice have transformed power and privilege for few into equity and equality for all. To advance this vision, we support movements that build grassroots people power to change economic, political, and cultural systems. And in 2020, yes, during a pandemic, we launched a bold new 3-year strategic plan. At the core of our strategy is a movement-led approach where we will provide resources and holistic support based on the needs and priorities determined by movement actors themselves. My leadership project is to shift power to abortion rights activists in East Africa. And over the course of the past year, I successfully initiated the movement-led approach in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda on abortion rights and access. I conducted consultations with movement actors across the 4 countries and hired a feminist researcher and a consultant who together have interviewed over 35 organizations and over 50 movement actors to understand who is included in the collective actions to expand abortion access and who may not be included, such as young, trans, intersex, rural, remote, or sex worker activists. And in the process, we made amazing grants to groups like the Women's Promotion Center that runs its toll-free abortion hotline in Tanzania, and the Community Association of Women and Children with Disabilities that advocates for comprehensive sexual and reproductive services for girls and young women with disabilities in Uganda. And of course, there were challenges. For one, our timelines were significantly delayed due to the health and wellness of the team. And I must admit that I did struggle with that a lot because as one of 5 Global Fund for Women colleagues initiating a movement-led approach for the first time, I just didn't want to disappoint them. And we also had to respond to additional questions that were coming up, such as why we hired, who we did to support this work, which brought up questions for us about the need for extreme transparency, about the decisions that we make, even as we shift decision-making power. Never assume clarity. That's one of my lessons. And I'm thinking more deeply about feminist accountability practices in relation to wellness and promise deliverables. The brave space that was provided for me to think through these challenging predicaments was what I valued the most about this leadership process in my particular cohort. I had the opportunity to get real-time advice from colleagues who get my work, but that can provide additional perspectives because they're not immersed in it directly. Finally, I appreciate the coaching and mentorship principles I learned, like asking powerful questions. And I'd like to add asking leaderful questions, such as how can we bring out our inner authentic leader and who do we want to show up as in this moment? We can ask each other these questions, and we can also ask ourselves to reflect with vulnerability and compassion about our mindset, feelings, and actions, our head, our heart, and our hands. And this can start with small interactions and can lead to larger ones. What we focus on grows, what we water blooms. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. And I'm feeling good. Thank you.